Wind River is one of the last untouched places in the lower 48. Amazing, amazing natural resources.
2.2 million acres of some of the best hunting and fishing in the lower 48.
And if you turned it into Yellowstone or Jackson Hole, you'd lose that.
They can hear you now, people. Men's traditional championship style right here at Eastern Shoshone Indian Days.
There's just not a lot of kids who have been off the highway system in the reservation, and they really didn't understand what was in their backyard and how special it was.
The wildlife on this place surpasses what Yellowstone has in terms of wildlife conservation.
And it's very much intact. It's an Indian reservation. There isn't a lot of development.
In terms of wildlife conservation, this is an important piece of the puzzle.
The long-term goal here is to create future conservationists. But we got to strike this balance of keeping this place pristine, but also fighting the problem of job creation on the reservation. We aren't in the business of owning a fly lodge. Self-sustaining operations is the goal. Empowerment is the goal. Every community is different. You always have to be flexible. When you come to a place like Wind River, the first thing that you have to do is develop relationships built on trust. In all these projects, we have to have that key person who can really drive it locally. For us here, that's definitely art.
We're gonna head up to Trail Ridge, look into the basin up in Dry Creek. We're gonna go up and check to see if there's poaching going on. When you get in areas like this with all the grizzly bears and wolves and stuff, you want at least one warden with you.
No, there's two more.
There's two more.
There's four of us.
For 2.2 million acres and about 60,000 people, I got 3 wardens and myself to try to patrol and protect all this land. So it gets pretty rough sometimes, pretty hard. I was, born and raised here and hunting and fishing the reservation my whole life. So we teamed up with Indifly, and they got us into fly fishing. For tribal members, it's pretty new, and people are learning more about it.
The Shoshone and Arapaho tribes are plains tribes that were hunters. So culturally, we're not necessarily fishing people. I was taught how to fly fish by a non-native. There's a fish. That was a big one.
Oh my God, dude, that was a giant fish.
They'll stay pristine as long as they're protected. The minute you start overdoing it, you're gonna hurt them. For the tribes, we do have that ability to protect that.
Sometimes it's really challenging explaining to someone that people would want to come to their homeland and catch a fish in the most inefficient way possible and pay a lot of money to do it and take a picture and put the fish back in the water.
I think the challenge for us as a community is, let's do that, but let's make sure we're the beneficiary. Let's put our kids to work. Let's create businesses for our community. It could be done.
See that, how it's like a little figure 8?
You're a tribal member, you live on this reservation, you're probably gonna grow up and stay on this reservation. And what you have in your backyard is worth keeping and protecting, wild and natural the way it is.
Here you go, you got it.
Let's create these sparks of conservation or sparks of passion for the outdoors in youth. And if we're successful at that, the resource remains pristine.